The choking game that you've heard of, also known as the fainting game. Some kids are playing it, and this woman up in Racine, Wisconsin, trying to drum up awareness about the choking game. Her son died playing it, and says she's hopeful a new public service campaign will open some eyes to the choking game's dangers. But you need to know about this now. Dr. James Pinckney, who joins us, family medical specialist. Good morning, Dr. Pinckney.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us here. Do you think we're seeing an increase in the number of kids doing this?
We are. We're actually seeing quite a bit, a spike in the number of kids that are dying from the choking game. Unintentional injury is the leading cause of death in children and adolescents in the U.S.
The idea
12,000 deaths annually.
Deprive your brain of oxygen to the point where you pass out. That's supposed to produce a high. I guess that's the idea.
Yes, it does.
Wow. So what, presumably a lot of people do this and they don't die. What is the, where do you go over the line? I mean, it's a dangerous thing to be doing to begin with, but what causes death as opposed to not causing death?
The whole point of the game is to cut off blood flow to the brain. It actually causes a euphoric state. So it's hard to say at what point what we call acute severe hypoxia occurs. Probably a couple minutes, but every child is going to be different. But once you reach that point where the brain receives no more blood flow, you're going to lose consciousness in 10 to 20 seconds. And permanent brain damage is going to occur after just 3 minutes.
Wow.
So basically, under 10 seconds, as in 5 to 10 seconds, when you have complete arrest of cerebral circulation, that is reversible, and that's when you kind of get that aura, visual blurring, you get constriction of sensations, and you kind of get that euphoria and excitement. So you've got a 10-second window between euphoria and severe brain injury.
Is this something that kids do in groups or pairs, or do some try it on their own, or what?
Kids generally do it in groups. They also do it individually. And we're finding that the ones that do it by themselves have the highest risk of death.
Sure. Wow. What would you say to parents? Is there anything to look for? You can go up in your room. Okay, there's no drugs, there's no drug paraphernalia. He's up in his room.
There's a lot of potential warning signs. You really have to stay on top of your kids. If they have, unexplained bruising or red marks on the neck, if they're wearing high-neck shirts in warm weather, they can have bloodshot eyes, bruising around the eyes, what we call petechiae, little red dots on the eyelids, or the conjunctiva, which if you pull down your eyelid is the pink part of the eye, frequent headaches, unusual need for privacy. Another big red flag is if you do not have a dog and you find a dog leash or a choke collar or something like that in your child's room.
Wow. What is the most typical method that these kids are using?
Typically, it's self-strangulation. So they just use the hands, and they kind of choke themselves, place the hands around the neck, and you have the largest vessels in your neck there, the carotids, and you cut off blood flow from those major vessels to the brain with the hands.
Are we out of alcohol? Did we run out of Dad's booze to swipe from the liquor cabinet? What? No. And you wonder, Dr. Pinckney, if sometimes the details about telling kids what this game is all about, what this experience is all about, and telling them not to do it, might turn some kids onto the idea and say, wow, I never thought about that. I guess I'll try it.
Yeah, that is one of the risks, but I really want to, we need to refer to it as strangulation activity instead of a game, because when kids hear the choking game, it makes them think that it downplays the risk of complications and death. Whereas if we start calling it strangulation activity, that reinforces the message that this is a life-threatening activity. You can die from this.
Right. Yeah, using the word game is probably not the best. Oh, let's play that game,
Yeah, well, if you win by not dying or getting severe brain injuries.
Well, that's too bad. Doctor, thank you for the information. We appreciate your time very much. Dr.
You're very welcome.
James Pinckney joining us from Texas. Well, I hope if you heard this, you'll pass that along to your kids and their friends, just in case.